All right, Bitcoin Wednesday, May 14th. Let's start out on the 4-hour chart and look at the short time frame, see where we're at. Then we'll zoom out all the way to the monthly, check on the macro, see what we can look for to the high and low. All right. So we're in our light blue zone on the higher time frame. This is blue skies and rainbows. This is not worry time at all here, right? We have a green zone. Anything above really 97, these highs down way the hell down here at 97. As long as we're above that, I wouldn't be worried whatsoever. Consolidation, we could come all the way down here, still be overly bullish. That's why these are color-coded, to make it stupid simple. Blue skies, great. We're down a little bit today. Doesn't matter. Bollinger Band's pretty narrow here. We'll see if we can get a bigger move here in the next day or two. That's why we do daily updates, so we don't get caught off guard. As for today, I'd be watching for that low, which is coincidentally the 50 EMA right there. If we take that out, it's almost inevitable we got to come down and kind of revisit this green zone, but that's still great. Right, we're still good there. That's not a panic zone either. Right, you have gray, yellow, and red below that. So watch the low. As for now, the highs, look how flat that is. We put it on closing prices. It's like a near perfect double retest here. That's not a double top. Don't get that twisted. A double top would confirm on the 4-hour, right? It's only a 4-hour chart, not too much weight. But this is only a double top if we close under this low. This is not a double top yet. This is bullish consolidation at or near all-time highs. Right, so this is much more bullish than bearish. So don't lose sight of that. One slight, I'd say, bullish hesitation, maybe bearish potential that the bears are starting to lean on is the OBV, on-balance volume. If we drag this down, you put this peak there, you can see that, it's pretty drastic that this volume is now down here, but I don't put too much weight into this because if you start at the same spot, you want to go to here, it's leaning down as well. You might say, well, that angle's more sharp. No, you'd want to be really looking at something like this. Now, why am I showing you this if that doesn't matter? It's if prices go up here, let's say we're at 105 tomorrow or whenever, on this 4-hour chart, and OBV is still going down, right? Let's say it's tomorrow, Thursday at 4 p.m. We see OBV down here and price has a huge bounce. That would be concerning because then we would definitely be getting some bearish divergence, and this could be a fake out in one of those, looky-loos that we get where we kind of fake out to the high side and then have a drastic drop. We could get that again if this continues. So that's what I'm looking at for now. But do we have it yet? No, I don't worry about the angles being different, right? Price is slightly down. OBV is slightly down. You don't want to draw these wrong either, right? I've seen people draw oh, well, price is going up here. No, this is wrong, right? If you're looking at, you go from the same spot and you draw it to where price action currently is, or where if you want to go off closes, that's fine as well. But you can't go off of one and not the other. You don't want to cherry pick. Okay, so enough about that. Gaussian channel. As long as you're above the Gaussian channel, you're still good as well. So the top of that is also right in line with the low, right in line with the 50 EMA, the low Bollinger Bands, right? There's a lot going on right in that area, and that's around 1015. So if we start to get a close, even on the 4-hour, under 1015, I would look for a more sustainable move to the downside, probably somewhere around the 100K mark or, 97, 98, somewhere in there, from 97 to 100. If we close and take out that, 1015-ish level. All right, is that enough for the 4-hour? I think it is. All right, let's move out to the daily. Let's put it back on some candles. Again, bullish consolidation in our unicorn and rainbow zone here, right? You don't want to be bearish here. This could easily lift off again very quickly, right? This was similar vibes here, right? Looked like it could hesitate and reject and come back down. Surprise. Looks like it can hesitate and reject and come back down. Surprise. You've got to be leaning higher based on price action, not my opinion. Just look at the damn chart. you've taken out where we should have hesitated, right? If you're going to hesitate and the bears are going to take back over again, it should have been down here. And I've seen some arguments of bears like, oh, we still haven't made a higher high yet. Well, the bears never shut up, right? If we're at 115 or 111, they'll just say, oh, look at the 2021, we made a new higher high, right? They'll never be quiet, no matter what evidence you show them. But if they were going to be in charge, they needed to hold the line at this top, right, on the daily chart. These highs should have held here. The fact that we're up here and haven't given this back yet, and we're above the EMA 8, consolidating right below all-time highs, is obscenely bullish. Don't let anyone tell you different. Gaussian channel. Let's check on that for the daily as well. Well below us. Okay, so not even worth having on. Anything else? Not really that we're looking at, right? If you're up here in the stratosphere, there's not a whole lot to go off of, right? We're just leaning bullish and waiting for either a close under the EMA 8 on the daily, which would get us out of the blue zone and kind of in the nether here, and probably going back to the green zone, as we talked about on the 4-hour. Ideally, we'd like to hold that 21 EMA, which is now 98.1, moving up day over day. And again, we're obscenely bullish until we close under that or under the green zone. You see all these stacks here, right? As we zoom out, these will become a little bit more clear and evident. But as for now, right, we're leaning up. We're at 74,000 5 weeks ago. We're now at 104. Now's not the time to be nervous. Again, like, look at this past move, right? Like, flirting with all-time highs here, right? Didn't work out well. Here again, we start to close all-time highs right there. We got right to it, right, from our previous. Let's put a zone on it. Little line there at the top. We didn't quite get there with the wick, right? You see that? They come back down again, hold on the 21 EMA, and then start the major move. When you go to new all-time highs, likely major breakout. So I would anticipate that again. So right now, it's anybody's guess, right? If we're going to go down, it might be 5%. I would guess around 5% if we go down to the 21 EMA, similar to last time, and then rocket ships out. I do not anticipate a little half-ass move to 110 or 112, anything like that. I would expect similar vibes to this guy right here, right? A nice big close, and then that's just the start, right? And then when we go, right, should be big. Now, the downside of that is Bitcoin dominance will likely remain strong, maybe even go back up. And then altcoins will get dragged up, but just dragged up. We're not in altcoins to get dragged. But once Bitcoin chills at new all-time highs, that's when altcoins tend to start to explode. Right? Think back to, late this time, right in, November, December of last year, altcoins were doing quite well. That's what we're waiting on, right? So I don't know if it's today, tomorrow, next month, right? I would expect as we zoom out to the monthly, we can see could very well be June, but who cares, right? We're up 40% from 5 weeks ago. Smack yourself in the face if you're bearish, right? 3-day chart. Again, pretty bullish consolidation. We had a big bull candle up here. Some hesitation, as what you would expect, after, again, a 40% move in under 5 weeks. But we haven't, immediately nuked down. If we're going to do it, and the bears going to have a final stand, they need to do it really this candle in the next, 34 hours, roughly, right? 24 plus 10, I think that's accurate. So we would want to, if you're a bear, right, you'd want to see something like this. At least they move back down. And the downside is, for the bears, even if they get this, it's, a 5% move to the green zone, and you're still green here, right? If we can hold these highs, we're still overly bullish here. Just look at the chart. Consolidating right near all-time highs is very bullish, and more oftentimes than not leads to breakouts before breakdowns. So we will see. We've spent a lot of time. This was the fake out. If it's gonna be a bull trap and going into a bear market, this should have held, right? The fact that we cleared this is not a good sign for the bears. Bulls are winning now. And we confirmed a double bottom back here, right here, as we've talked about pretty much every damn video. But just get it across your head how bullish this is. 3-day chart is bulls across the board. Weekly, we're still trying to get a visit to that upper Bollinger Band to get that lower to upper move like we got back here. A bounce off the 50 EMA, the lower Bollinger Band, pretty quick teleport to the top Bollinger Band, a little bit more consolidation, and then we got our explosive move. So it could take a couple of weeks, but still good, right? As long as Bitcoin chills here, even goes down, I think we can see some more alt moves. So that's the positive side here, right? As long as we're above the green zone and not doing anything too drastic, like we don't want to see that. We don't want to see a 9% negative week. But if we're holding up here in the blue stratosphere, unicorn, rainbows, altcoins can come back out. Why aren't they doing it today, you might ask? Bitcoin dominance is still high, folks, right? We're still at 62.5%. This has got to be, it's on its way down, but it's up 0.5% today, right? We need this back under 60, ideally like mid 50s. Like, let's just go take a look at the chart real quick. Like, we have still our zones where we likely are going to get alt season here, right? We're a visit to the 786. Hopefully the top is in, but we don't have anything macro yet. We got to get back into this zone where we start to see alts move a little bit bigger. And then these have been on my chart for, if you've been watching, like, I would say a year since back in this area. At least. I mean, look at this. This is 2023 here, right? This is when alts start to go berserk, right? Under the yellow, think back to, again, late November, December. If we get down here again, back under, in the mid 50s, that's when we'll start to see like wacky moves. 50% daily candles out of some of these alts. That's what we're here for. But it's got to be down in here. I don't think dominance is going to go as low as many might expect, as we might have hoped earlier in the cycle. I think we were hopeful of something down in here. I doubt we're going to get that anymore. I would expect a dominance cycle low somewhere around 50 at these highs, this high zone. Like, I'd be shocked if we even get down here anymore. Now, we could still do massive runs in alts, but I think these zones that we were hopeful for earlier in the year have kind of gone out the window, right? If this was the top, we could have got here. But we've definitely pressed higher for much longer. Like, from that potential top there, it's now been 160 plus days, 170 days, and we've gone way the hell higher. So dominance falling, great, but it's just the start. If it is in fact in, right, could easily bounce here. Bitcoin's going to go to 130K in the next couple of months, or watch out, weeks. This zone could still easily get hit here, right? Our previous cycle highs. And there's a case to be made for that, because we've just done nothing but slow and steady up the damn hill the whole time, versus back in previous cycles, we've had drastic pullbacks, drastic moves back down, 20-30% moves down. We've not seen anything like that. So just side note on that. Back to Bitcoin real quick. The weekly Bollinger Bands are still diverged from each other, right? As we zoom in here, we can remove this. Not sure why that's on there. Let's just look at the facts here as the bands are still wide open. And we're consolidating just under all-time highs after closing our second highest candle close ever on the weekly just last week. It's like, again, open your eyes. What's the facts in front of you here? And like we said, I think on Monday, like, I wouldn't be shocked if we just kind of do one of these numbers, right? And then by, July, we're at, maybe way the hell up here, right? But this would be ideal if we can take a little bit of a breath, or it doesn't have to go that low. Like, we might just, revisit 98 or something and tap this EMA 8 in a couple of weeks, right? That would be just fine as this starts to continue to rise, something like this, right? Where we kind of round out here and just bounce. But more or less this number, right? This bounce versus, we get to the end again. We're hoping this is like something scenario like this. We're hoping like late this year, right? Q4 before we see this. And, I think more or less we're in this area as of right now. Okay. I think most of you know that. Monthly. just closed here, and it's all-time high close for Bitcoin. We have 17 days. Upper Bollinger Band is at new all-time highs now, finally, at 111. Can we hit that this month? We'll see. But like, let's look at the facts here again. Like where we're at. Consolidating, bouncing off the EMA 8 monthly. Consolidating, bouncing off the EMA monthly. This is a little bit shorter, as we kind of expected, right? But there's our MAC. Oh, look at all those zones we have on those short time frames, and look how insignificant they are here. I don't even need the Bollinger Bands there, but just looking at the grand scheme of things, right? Breakout to new all-time highs, sustained for several months, right? So if we do that again, I would expect a bigger move. Depends on how quick, how fast, but somewhere give or take around 150 as for now. If we're there, if we're 120, this time in 30 days, I would probably move my target higher. I don't anticipate us going over 200K this cycle. If we just look at, let's do a rough fib extension here from the swing high to low. 1618 takes us to 140. I think that's a good target. Like, we'll see how things look and how long it takes us to get there. Again, if we're there in late June or July, maybe we go a little bit higher, but I don't anticipate the 2618 getting hit here. Let's see what this one was. So we got just above the 1618 on this move. So if we get just above the 1618 or to the 2618 from this move, look at that. That takes us to 143, 139 to 143. I think that's a pretty good target zone. Maybe we'll leave that on our next target for our breakout. We need a different color. We need to somehow get a rainbow color version up here. Watch out, could send some mixed signals. Maybe we'll keep that at sunset. We'll see the sunset up there. I don't know where I'm going with that. But there you go. and on the rants and whatever the hell I'm talking about. Okay. Anything else we got on this? Let me know. All signs look good. Higher for longer is the odds on, based on the facts in the charts. Price is king. Always forget your indicators. Look at those to confirm your thesis. This should be your main target to looking at is price. Don't look at indicators first. Don't be that guy or girl. All right, I'll see you on the next one.